This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
It's always a pleasure to have Caitlin Bassett in the house. CBass has joined us this morning. She's told us, Natalie, off air that she's carrying an injury.
Yes, former netballer, but now she's an aspiring football star, AFLW star.
Don't say that. I'm not an aspiring football star. I'm just an aspiring
footballer.
Just footballer. I'm not trying to be a star, that's for sure.
Well, you've got the runs on the board. You're one of Australia's greatest we've ever had, netball. And then we've seen that a lot of the girls have been able to transition from netball to footy. I was really surprised that Ash Brazel wasn't considered for the All-Australian squad, by the way. Can we talk about that?
Me too. All-Australian, obviously, Mim, we talked about that, how exciting it was for her. Ash McCarthy, Driss, who's in here. But defensively, it is hard to crack. And I think Braz this year, she missed a couple of games. She was probably, just being in a new team as well, finding your feet. But I think the fact that she's a left footer, the fact that she's just really experienced in that cool, calm head. Yeah. There was multiple times during the season where a team was threatening to score in the final minutes and she just gathered the ball
so good.
And she just found a way to get it out.
So when I played volleyball, being a left-hander was huge. Yeah. Because it was like people don't generally train for a left-hander to spike and stuff at you, so it's sort of a sneaky thing. What is left? If you're a left kicker, does that do anything?
Yeah, it changes the angles in a big way. So we played 1 year. We were playing Richmond. We came up with this thing. They had 17 left footers in their team.
What?
We had a thing. It was called
17 out of the 22.
Actively recruiting lefties.
That's extraordinary.
That statistically shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is wild.
Maybe it was out of 22. Maybe it was in the whole team that we were going through left, right and centre. But we called it Operation Left Foot. Anyway.
You really thought that name through, didn't you?
Operation Left Foot. We've got to do this. You've got to stand on their right side, blah, blah, blah. And we got absolutely smoked in that game. We'll never talk about it again.
Who was that coach? Sounds like Damien Drum.
I think it was under Drummy, yeah.
So basically, is it just what we do with the right-handed foot on the left? Everyone just goes, the left foot, and everyone just shuffles over?
Well, if you stand on their opposite side, then you're forcing them to be unbalanced when they're kicking the ball. And also, you can shift your defence to be able to accommodate which side they're going to kick the ball on, which side they're turning to. Is it the same in netball? I don't know, I imagine it would be.
There's a couple of lefties in netball. I played with Laura Sherian, who was a great lefty, but she was ambidextrous. So it just meant when a defender got on one side of her, she could switch the ball and get around the hands the other side, which was really handy.
What about shooting?
Shooting, there have been a couple of lefty shooters. I think it just looks a bit weird.
But what is it? Does it change anything?
It doesn't matter. It's just the defender focusing on their shooting hand.
Because I was ambidextrous in volleyball, so I could use either, and that would throw them off.
Yes.
But,
I mean, it just depends what side the defender's on. If you're turning, an outside turn is sometimes quicker, an inside turn to open
Is
up
it hard
space.
to find a left-handed netball?
No, a left-handed netball. It's very hard, very
Flanders
challenging.
will be able to sell you one.
But you know what? I'm learning so many new things at footy. I strained my calf the other day, which wasn't great. But just watching and tactics and some of the things that I have learnt from netball, the zone defence, finding space, even just marking one another has helped when we've been doing some scrimmage games.
It's really interesting.
So you're familiar with the
people
concepts.
that are coming in from other sports, Shaun, they're bringing their knowledge from that sport into this and using it.
Nathan, the whole thing about modern day football, in my opinion, when Jared Neesham took over, he was from an international sports background, which is water polo, which you're playing zones and you're playing counter-attacks and you're playing advantages, 3-on-2s, 5-on-7s, all this kind of stuff.
Plays.
And we started playing that, and then everyone bagged him, right?
Yeah.
The West Australian, Channel 7, everyone was
the
just
West
talking
Australian
about...
doesn't bag football.
They just talking
I know what you're talking about.
This is modern
Great
day football.
publication.
It's a great publication.
Have you heard of a young man named Harley Reid?
Mate, have you seen the recipe of the day? And keep going.
But it wasn't until years down the track where some of the people started using his lingo.
He was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
And the game's played that way.
Yeah.
And it isn't any other international sport, Caitlin, which you played.
Yeah, it's true. And just the intensity, what I've noticed at footy training is you can bring intensity regardless if you know the skill or not. And so running hard through cones when we're doing conditioning, getting voice up, getting around and encouraging one another, even scrapping up a ball. For me, I just instinctively, when there's a drill happening, I'll stand by the side. So if there's a loose ball, I can, back up and help. Because that's what we got drilled into us for years at netball. So there's been some nice transitions. The kicking is still slowly coming along. I have a really dodgy mouth guard and I haven't done too much tackling yet. But when I catch the ball, my feet just want to stay still. The other day, I tried to do the longest handball in the world.
They're all going, move, Caitlin, run!
Yeah, change your feet up.
Yeah.
Can I ask you on the physicality of the game and how's that been for you?
I don't mind it. I haven't done too much at the moment. We're just in our first block, so we've been doing more conditioning and skill work. But I'm happy to tackle someone, but I don't particularly want to be tackled. So when I get the ball,
sounds right.
I want to get rid of it straight away. And maybe that means I'll become more of a defender because I'm more than happy to, just wait until someone gets it.
Yeah.
Now, this time of
Slam
year
them.
when you're doing pre-season training, there's going to be a lot of hot days, so you've got to make sure you've got your water bottles all ready to go, but also sun protection. Tell us what you would just...
Yes.
That's happened to your
It's
hat.
an issue for you recently, wasn't it?
Well, we've just moved house and I had quite the battle getting my cat over
Yes.
to the new house. And so it was going to be a hot day. I'll grab my new training cap, my Demon's hat.
Oh, yes.
Great. It's going to be a hot day. I put it on my head. I was like, I must have got quite sweaty in the last session because it was a little bit damp. And as I was getting ready, I was like, something smells a bit right. Like, this isn't right. And
what was it?
turned out the cat had pissed in my training
sweet.
bag.
Yes.
And my towel,
And you
my
were
hat.
wearing it.
Yes,
I'm
I had a
surprised. I
cat
thought it would have
hat
been
piss.
Big Wee Wee that had
Yes,
pissed
it
in the
was.
bag.
So the cat, which is mad at you for making it stay inside
Yes,
and said,
so
I'll teach you a lesson
she's
and got you a
left
beauty.
out.
What do you,
You can't trust
vindictive.
cats.
Like, that's-
Vinegar, you got to wash it in
But
vinegar.
that's so gross.
No, you've got to burn
that's,
it.
That's a thing that lives with you and you look
Yes.
after it.
Yeah, but I kept her inside for too long.
Yeah.
She didn't like it, so she
Yep.
punished me.
She got the last word. Caitlin, we're going to get you to hang around. We've got to get to the news.
Megan, if you're
Got
upset with
more to
Shaun, you
come.
know what to do.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
We've got another Aussie that's going to be racing in the F1's
I know,
as of
how
this
good.
week, the last race of the
Shaun,
season.
don't. I'm telling everyone later.
Oh, my God.
Hey, everyone, it's
Love
me.
to see you go through the
One lady
chicanes.
driver.
Yeah, no. I ended up getting the PT Cruiser fixed, so I've got my car.
Oh, yeah, you're good to go.
What kind of tyres are you going with? The soft?
I'm pram wheels.
Slicks.
The slicks. Always. Jack Doohan will be out there racing. Of course,
Son
his
of a gun.
father, Mick Doohan, was one of the greatest motorsport guys we've ever had. MotoGP, in fact, he dominated.
So
Yeah.
look, I know is that a learnt sport or an inherited sport? The thing, you know what I mean? So a footballer, right? So you inherited a certain body shape. You know, like so. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think that first of all, you would think that being around motorsport all
Yeah,
his
so
life,
that's learned.
that is learnt. And
But
then
is there
he would have
anything
started
inherited?
off.
I would think reflexes,
Reflexes,
yeah.
Must have been a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the
Interesting.
number one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
The
amazing
ability to
athletes as well.
concentrate and all that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
there'd be
yeah.
an inherited factor
to
in that.
indicate.
Yeah.
Indicates very important. It's going to be amazing to see him. He's going to be racing for Alpine, so that's going to be interesting. But to have another Aussie two in a row,
great,
that's
isn't it?
great. And Daniel Ricciardo falling out, then we've got some young stars who are going to take his place. And in particular, as we say at the moment, Oscar Piastri, he's running fourth in
Yeah.
the championship.
So good, isn't it?
And, you know, he's every chance in the
Aren't we
next couple
great?
of years of
We are great.
being a world champion. So
Yeah.
good luck to him. James Harden yesterday in the NBA, he reached the 3,000 made three-pointers in his
Amazing.
career. So the only other person to do that so far is Steph Curry.
So
He's
that's
on
not points.
35
That's he's made 3,000 shots.
3,000 three-pointers.
That's extraordinary.
He dropped three in about a heartbeat yesterday
Yeah.
when they were playing the
So he
Nuggets.
just
on
like
fire.
he just knows where it is at
The
all
long
times.
bomb.
Knows exactly what pressure to do, and he gets it in there all
And
the
he
time.
gets it in.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. There's nothing better than a feeling of a 3-pointer.
I know. I used to go down to Willetton Sports Club on the school holidays and just sit there and just bombing threes.
You know when you get in that zone where it just keeps on going
Yeah.
in, and that,
Yeah.
like, no one's ever around then.
Yeah.
Sucks.
And also, there's no defense.
Oh, there's no
So-
defence. That's the more important thing. There's no
Yeah.
defence now. When you watch the NBA and you watch the level of skill these guys are at,
extraordinary.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff that you can watch on LeBron James. So he turns up to a match about 5 hours before the game. And it's like he does his own personal training where he does a full workout of stuff to get his body going.
Yep.
Shoot around, two different shoot
That's what he
arounds
has to do to
before
get
he
in the
plays.
zone. Yeah.
At 39 years of
So
age.
would that
amazing.
be process or what's it called?
Ritual, like routine.
Ritual,
Yeah.
or what is it when you don't walk under a ladder? Superstition.
Yeah. I
Would-
think
would that wrap into
it becomes
that?
superstition that you haven't done everything you possibly can to be at the height of your powers going into a game, but it starts off as a process
Yeah.
to be able to get your body.
Yeah,
So
because in
it's a
tennis,
combination
who
of
was
two.
in tennis that would done
Rafa.
What would he do? Take
Oh, he
his-
does 100 different little movements and moves his shirt.
Another
and
one,
then-
another person, I think it was someone. Is it Andy Murray or someone? They take their wedding ring off and tie it onto their shoelace or something like that. So there's
Oh,
another
right.
thing.
Oh, before
Oh,
the
that's
game.
before
I'm
the game,
talking
yeah.
about Rafa before every serve.
Yeah.
So that was in before the game. Another person does something with their drink bottles.
Oh yeah, they're, all those rituals. You know, people wear
Did you
the
have a
same colour
ritual?
socks, the same colour jocks. No, not really. I started off wearing the same colour jocks, which are always a red one. Pav jumped on that bandwagon for a while. In the end, I think you just got to work out that your preparation's already taken care of before you actually get
Yeah.
there, and you need to actually just loosen up because the
Yes.
intensity is about to happen. That's what I learned.
Like if you have a ritual or superstition like that in place that can be upset so easily if your drink bottle's wrong,
Yeah.
you go, you don't want that to be what
used
ruins
to-
your game.
I
Do you know
used
what I
to- No,
mean?
not
You
at all,
have
no.
to be mentally in a better place than that.
Yeah.
I used to, those little things that you think of in your brain. So I used to clock things like, where I used to live, there used to be like this drain, and if I got over the drain without touching the sides, it was going to be a good day. Just little things like that in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some people had that for everything.
If you manifest them for so long, as Nat said, something goes wrong.
Yeah.
It totally throws you off.
Yeah.
You don't want to be thrown off because you touched a drain.
So so that drain, it got done, and then it's new now, so I can't do my thing. So it's been just a long, bad day.
And the cricket gets underway, of course, on Friday. There'll be a lot of talk about this week. But the last two tests that have been played in Adelaide haven't got longer, Nathan, this won't surprise you, but haven't gone longer than 3.5 days.
Well, they reckon there's
It's
so
a
much
5-day
movement
test generally.
in the evening sessions that it's very difficult to bat under
So
those
even
conditions.
cricket's over it.
Cricket's over it. The pink ball moves a lot, obviously,
Yes.
but during the day, it's a bit of a flat track. So
Yeah.
you've got to be able to win the toss and bat during the day sessions. And if that's not the case for Australia, and they don't win the
We're
toss
in all
straight up,
sorts.
man, it's going to be over in 2 days.
That's good. That's good.
But then they've got time off in Adelaide. The Bison's
churches.
looking like he will be playing because
Well,
there was
they're
some
suggesting
doubt.
that he's going to be used as a batter only.
Yeah, right.
So we'll wait and see.
Okay. Well, they could do with one.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.